Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy. Oh man, BIGAT. If you guys forgot, it's been a while, and I've been I've been really contemplating this podcast episode, um, because I know a lot of you have been asking me where the fuck I've been, and excuse me for the low quality. I'm literally in my bed doing this episode. I just really thought I'd reach out to some people, and it's currently almost 11 o'clock, and I got work in 6 hours. Um, so the number one question that I've been receiving a lot is, what happened to the podcast? Where the fuck is Big Ant? What the hell is going on? And as much as I want to tell you great news, um, this episode I really don't have that type of energy, and I believe I owe a lot of people an explanation and a little bit of clarification, and um, I don't know where to start, and like where to like dissect the amount of stuff I want to talk about, but I'm gonna try to keep it as short as possible. Um, First of all, I want to thank everybody that's ever helped me with my podcast. Shout out to my boy LA, aka Martinez Got Jokes. He's basically the reason why I'm here and still attempting to do podcasting, or whatever the future holds for me right now, because I couldn't tell you. But without Martinez, um, a lot of the drive would have been gone. You know, the motivation, inspirational pull to keep doing something that you enjoy, something that you love, which is really, really, really fucking hard nowadays. And he's always been there for me, and great, great fucking guy, all around guy. And yeah, man, he's been down since day one with this podcast shit. We done like 50 episodes together. Might be an over exaggeration, but I'm gonna give him the 50. And shout out to my boy Cruz, um, always being my backbone, bro. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get deep with a lot of people anymore. And I'm gonna get into that in this episode and the reason why I've been distant. And he's just the guy. He's the guy. You know what I mean? I could talk to that kid about anything: video games, wrestling, uh, how shitty my podcast and my raps are, or when I need to get a haircut and shit. He's always constantly reminding me when I need to get a haircut. But he's always looking out for me, man. Still, like 20 years later, and he's still here, man. So, and then obviously shout out to my family. You know, my mom, my dad, my sister. You know, my sister just had a baby, another baby. For those of you who don't know or haven't been told, and yeah, and everybody else in between. You know, the list is forever long and forever big. And I may have left some people out, but and shout outs to my boy shout out to my boy Zay, kushgang.com, being the first sponsor of the podcast, and actually giving a fuck about me and my work, my projects. And yeah, man, it's been a hell of a ride, dude. Last time we spoke, I moved, and I went upstate and tried to change my life for the better for my family, and it kind of turned and bit me in the ass, as you could say. I'm not gonna get too deep into personal vendettas. I'm not here to name call. I'm not here to point fingers. but I'm just here to talk about my situation, like mentally and physically, but more mentally, and how I'm starting to um view the world and the people around me. Um, Moving up there and putting basically my entire family, my entire life in somebody else's hands was, man, it was a very scary situation. And the person that I was sharing this dream with and trying to accomplish my goals and trying to accomplish what I guess you could say that I always have been trying to accomplish, which was get a house and make sure my family's good and just work and make money and bring all that to the crib. And the biggest thing for me was the fact that I was doing that and I was putting myself in a vulnerable position. And I know what you're probably thinking. You're like, bro, how can you put yourself in a vulnerable position if you're trying to better yourself? And I'm saying that to say this, that me doing that is the reason why I've been distant and I've been very closed off with people, friends, and family. And the last shit, you, I guess you can go back to when it all started. So it's like a year now. Like the last year has just been really really dark. In the terms of my relationship, my marriage, my relationship with people that I've put my trust in, and like I said, I'm not here to pick a fight. I'm not here to like call out anybody. I mean, if you put two and two together, a lot of people know who I'm talking about. And my biggest thing is I was given an opportunity to become something, and I feel like I was giving it my all, also balancing my marriage and the birth of my daughter, and trying to correct myself and all my mistakes through that, with dropping everything in South Florida and moving up there to Northern Florida. And I was I was pretty blinded by the fact that I was so obsessed with trying to fix everything else. I wasn't really fixing myself. And it took its toll. Things happened, things were said in between me and my wife. And um you know, the person that I was doing this journey with and trying to become something and better myself, it altered, and it altered in a very ugly way. And I'm trying my best to find the best out of the situation. And besides actually having a cold Christmas, I can't really give you guys anything beneficial. Um, did I learn a trade? Did I learn something new? In a sense, but it wasn't rocket science. I wasn't really taught anything drastically changing. Like, I didn't go to school, you know. I was taught like hand me down tricks of the trade. What to do to get by, to get top dollar for what we're doing. And I believe um, I believe deep down inside there was a lot of lies, a lot of distrust, a lot of hiding things. And for somebody to feed you this information about how your life is going to change and become a better person and live out these fantasies that I had in my mind. Because I was halfway there. I got a house finally. I moved my family to a house. It was a great feeling watching my kid run around at a big spacious place instead of an apartment. Big backyard. The American dream. But certain things were said and certain things were done and certain things were not done and certain things were left out. I'm not going to regurgitate all of that, but I'm just going to give you guys like the short version. And like I said, I believe a lot of stuff was not delivered in a sense. I say like it wasn't delivered. And a lot of that falls on me because I let it go. I let it get to that point. But then also, if you're supposed to be my boy, my brother, my business partner, I believe there was a lot of things that you could have said and done and approached me with. And I never got that opportunity. I'll be the first to tell you, like off the rip, shit went sour. Not in a bad way, business-wise. Business-wise in a bad way. It wasn't that. It was a bunch of other things attached to it personally. And like I said, I'm not gonna get too crazy in in personal details because I don't want to put anybody on blast. But as far as like names and stuff like that, it's not hard to put two and two together, like I said before. But so like I was given these chances. I felt like I was held back. I felt like there was no improvement while others flourished, and in a sense I was left out. And I can honestly say that I never went and tried to make it harder than what it was. I showed up for work. I did my job. I did my best to my abilities with what I had and with what was, given to me and taught to me. So on that half, I think I was doing pretty good. And then like I said, like the personal side is where it all fell apart. And then this is where I was telling you that like putting somebody up on that pedestal and then giving them the opportunity to alter my life completely. Because for those of you who don't know, and nobody knows except for like two people that are walking this earth, I lost everything. I literally lost everything up north making this decision. And I believe honestly at first his first intentions was not to fuck me over. But of course it ended up being just that. And I'm cool with that. I know I'm 37 years old. I'm used to getting fucked over by now. It's kind of like a cliche in my life. Lost the house. My fucking wife had to move because I was leaving. So I didn't want to stay there. So we had to leave. So unfortunately, leaving on short notice like that, she had no place to stay. I had no place to stay. I had to come back down to South Florida, move back in with my peoples. She had to move to Cape Coral, which is almost 3 hours from, my OG's house. And that's another thing. I don't get to see my kid because while I was up there, my truck decided to break completely. Transmission shot. And I had to make a decision right then and there what I was going to do. And I couldn't take it with me because the little bit of money that I had left was for the move and for the truck and for the boxes and the whole fucking nine. Gas and everything. Like what was it? 16-hour drive. So, but back to what I stated before. Like I literally lost everything. I lost the house. I lost my family. I lost my truck. I lost my dog. Shouts to Doug. I had to give my dog to my homeboy to watch. I haven't seen my dog in 6 months. And, dogs are family too. And I love my dog to death. And so what got me to that point, like I said, with giving somebody the opportunity to alter your life, um, like I said, I felt like a lot of stuff was hidden, a lot of stuff was lied about, a lot of stuff needed to be critiqued and changed, and it never happened. And I believe that fell on deaf ears half the time, because even if you're running a business, but we're supposed to be so tight to the point where your kids call me uncle type shit, you know, sharing a crib and stuff at one point. Um, there's a certain line and tendency that well, at least I hope so. I mean, this is just how I operate. That you look out for one another, you know, and certain things were only addressed if it was beneficial to him, which is cool. I get it. You just might be that type of person, dude. You feel me? So my anger and my frustration and my disappointment literally lies in the fact that you would rather fuck me over than to help me. And he's probably thinking the total opposite. Oh, I gave you the opportunity. I give you this, I give you that. You know what I mean? I looked out for your family by giving you a place to stay until you got your money, blah, blah, blah. But to me, like I said, deep down inside, I know there was a lot of stuff that was not addressed, that was lied about, that was hidden from me. Like I know deep down in my soul, he was kind of being stingy with money. He was kind of being stingy with work. I know he was doing stuff on the side rather than what we were doing together. And we can sit here and talk about splits. We had a split going, and the split was uneven as fuck in the beginning, and I let it rock because he was the only driver. And then things were said about changing the split when I was able and understood the trade and understood the work and how things went and was able to work on my own. I sat there and worked on my own probably after that for another 6, 7 months and never saw anything change. I'm not going to be the type of person to beg somebody to change something. If you're a man of your word and say you're going to do it, I expect you to do it. I never questioned this guy. I never questioned anything until obviously when shit hits the fan. It's like, you sit back and you think and you like, maybe he did do this or maybe he did do that. And it started to make a lot of sense. So back to my original statement. I had enough balls and enough gall to take my family and just ride out. It was the scariest moment of my life, and I did it. I don't regret it. Sometimes you gotta take those chances. It might have took off. He's still in business today. He's still doing his thing. So I took that chance, and it failed miserably with other things attached. Personally, and that's cool. Sometimes things work out, sometimes things don't. I understand that, but I just thought maybe he'd have a little bit more respect. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more empathy towards me because of who I was and what I did for him and what I sacrificed to get there. There was times I didn't talk to my family for fucking months. My mom would be crying on the phone. My dad would be talking shit, in a good way, not a bad way. But I sacrificed a lot to get up there, dog, and I never really got a thank you. You know what I'm saying? I got up there and I helped you. It was supposed to be our business, but it was your business at the end of the day. Still is your business at the end of the day. And I never got a thank you, bro. Even when this man came to my house on the last day. He came to my house on the last day before I was leaving, a couple of days before I was leaving to talk and pick up the tools that he bought me because I didn't want them shits. Um, he came to my house and I couldn't even tell you. I don't remember what was said because it didn't matter to me at that point. But what did matter was there was never a thank you. There was never a I appreciate you, bro. You done a lot to help me get my business off the floor. We started this together. Raji, blah blah blah. You know, and I never got that, bro. And that's what's kind of crazy to me. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't go to work and I don't do what I do every day, and and I expect a pat on the back because I don't need it. I'm not a people's person. It's been a long time since I've been a people's person, and this is the exact reason why. And I'm not gonna sit here and shit on this kid entirely because it wasn't like that. It was never like that. Just towards the end. It was a little bit in the beginning, but I had to find that shit out the hard way. And in the end. So I gave him way much, I can't even speak. I gave him too much and I got nothing in return. That's where I stand. And I'm a man of my fucking word. There's no reason for me to get on here and lie. There's no reason to get on here to make myself look good. I've been off social media. I've been off the grid for months now. And the reason why I'm doing this podcast is I had a friend hit me up. He got my number somehow. I don't know how the fuck he got my number because nobody has my number. My 754 number is gone. And he's like, bro, somebody told me today that you died. I was like, whoa, I died, bro. That's crazy. And it made me think. And I was like, even if I was off the grid and I haven't spoke to nobody, like how the fuck does somebody just come up with that shit and just start, Big Ant died, like he's dead, bro. We haven't seen her talk to him in fucking years. So that made me think. Let me do a podcast. I thought it was ironic. I thought it was funny, and I thought it was kind of creepy all at the same time. And that's kind of where I'm at now, dude. I'm very secluded. I really don't like putting my faith in people anymore, and I was kind of like that before, but now I'm kind of like a totally different person. And I get it. Things happen. You know what I'm saying? But there's just certain things that you do and certain things that you say that are very judgmental and very consequential. That's a big word. And this whole experience was just one of them, dude. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of stuff that's attached to this, bro. But I lost everything, man. I haven't seen my daughter, Ziana, in a month and a half. Except for FaceTime. Because of this. I lost my truck because of this. My house. My marriage. My relationship. I don't see my wife. I can't wake up to my wife. I can't wake up to my kid. I can't come home to my kid. And he still gets to do those things. You know what I mean? He still gets to enjoy those things. I got that shit taken away because of this. And I owe an apology to a lot of people because they told me that it was probably the stupidest thing they ever heard. And I get it. People open up businesses all the time and do all, self-employed. They do all this shit all the time. So, but I guess that's the way the cookie crumbles. And sometimes you got to take those chances, and sometimes you got to fail to understand that you're still fucking human. You know what I mean? And I have to wrap my head around that. Not everybody's on your team or seems like they're on your team or have your back. And sometimes you gotta find that shit out the hard way. And man, let me tell you, I've been in a very, very, very dark place for the last, 6 months that I've been back in Florida. And a lot of my stuff was underlying, a lot of my stuff with my marriage has been years in conflict and battling with depression and trying to figure out how to fix everything and handle the birth of my daughter and be a better person, a better man, a better husband. I was battling all that shit, you know, and not having enough money and finding a place and doing all this extra shit. It was a lot of stress, and I lost track along the way of who I am as a person and who I am as a husband. And I'm trying my best not to raise my kid in a broken home situation, and it's very hard because of how things are with no transportation. Thankfully, I found a job. I'm making money. I'm saving up and doing the adult thing and trying to get my life back and trying to get my life back in order. But then also comes along the lines of how I can fix my relationship and how I can fix myself in the process, and also maintain the longevity and the healthy side of my relationship with my daughter, because I don't want to be that dad that's only there every other month, and I don't want to be that dad that's there every other year, or have my kid ask, "Where's daddy?" That's not how I want to operate. you know I came from a broken family. My mom fixed it, but I want to provide for myself. I want to provide for my kid. I want to provide for my relationship, and I want to do that shit on my own. You know. So, Big Ann is dead was hilarious, and also very, very creepy at the same time that people would say that. And they have every right. I went ghost. I went off the grid. I wasn't talking to anybody. I wasn't talking to anybody from here. I wasn't talking to anybody from up there. I wasn't talking to any of my family. I wasn't talking to any of my cousins. I wasn't talking to any of my homeboys. They haven't talked to me in months. And not in a negative way, but it just goes to show you, like, the people that would text me, the people that would not text me. It kind of shows you, like, how quick people can forget, about you, period. And because I'm not asking people to remember me, I'm not asking people to always hit me up. I never asked for that, but it's kind of crazy how people would just not bat an eye and never hit you up. And then, of course, once they hear you're in town, they're like, "Hey, a long time no see." Yeah, I guess. But I I have a lot of work to do, and I just want to let people know that you should look out for yourself. Make sure you're healthy, make sure you're good mentally, and that shit is real, dude. Depression is real. I'm still going through it. I'm trying different things to manage it. It's really, really hard when when you hit rock bottom, dude. It's just, where do you go from here type shit. You're literally being born again, because, like, I have nothing, and it's tough, man. It's really tough. But I don't know. I got a lot of things to do, a lot of things to say. I got a lot of things to get off my chest. I'm not gonna sit here and point fingers and make myself look like I'm an angel. Could I have done a little bit more to help out the situation up north? Of course. But I'm letting you know now that I sure as hell wasn't the one not doing anything. So, back to that topic of conversation earlier, putting your life in other people's hands and making big decisions, like altering decisions like that. You really got to do your research, man. You know, Dude came from a dark place, and then, like, the dark place just unraveled and came towards me. and then now I gotta deal with it, you know. And you're probably like, "Oh, it's not that dark. It's just a fucking job," you know. But when you lose everything, and when I say everything, I mean everything. It kind of takes a toll, like a a huge wrecking ball toll. Like, I'm not even bullshitting you guys. And it's just tough, man. Waking up and not being with your family, not seeing your kid grow up, not seeing your kid, period, not seeing your wife, and starting over, not being able to get in your car and just go down for a drive, go to the beach, go to the store. You know, I have to borrow everything now, and that's just part of the comeback, I guess. But man, am I sick and tired of saying that? And I thought it would be different. I thought this was the real deal. Like, I really thought I was going places. You know, it was great in the beginning. I thought I was onto something, and I feel a little bit. I don't know if I should say a little bit or a lot, but I feel taken advantage of. You know, while I'm sitting here with nothing, he still has everything, and that pisses me the fuck off. You know what I mean? Like, it pisses me off, not out of envy or jealousy, of course. You know, because I don't have nothing on his family, you know, his kids or anything like that. But him as a person, I just really sit back and I'm like, yo, like, I gave you all of me, and you took everything from me, and you're still living your life every day like nothing happened. You know, not getting a thank you really fucked me up, bro. That man came to my house, walked into my house, into my kitchen, and we spoke for about 30 minutes. You know, man to man. And I told him that this shit is it, man. I'm going back home, bro. And that was the perfect time to let everything out, and he chose not to. That shit really irks me. That's like, I look at you and I don't see no man in you, bro. Like, I don't see anything in you. Because that would have been the perfect time to dap me up and say, look, man, I'm sorry, bro. It's all good, bro. It's going to be okay. You know, thank you for helping me start this. But if it's not for you and I can't help you get to that level, you know, hit me up on the other side. But I don't even get that, bro. I don't even get that a whole year. You know, man making thousands of dollars every month, taking his fucking girl on vacations and shit, bragging about it. You know, and this man lying about shit, not giving me my stuff, not giving me my jobs, making my life harder. And you taking $8,000 vacations to LA and doing all this extra bullshit, and you bragging about it. You know what I mean? But like I said, I'm not here to put nobody down. I'm just here to spit facts, dog. And, you know, I just got a lot of shit to say, man. A lot of shit to get off my chest and let you guys know. And, you know, depression is real, dude. Depression is real. You know? And to this day, I still walk around, man. I just told my mom today, like, bro, I hate people, bro. I really do hate people. Because they have the power to just take and take and take and take and not give anything back. And walk away like nothing happened. That's crazy to me that there's a fucking creature on this earth that could take everything from you, walk away, and not bat a single eye. That's wild to me, bro. Like, a total stranger will come and take everything from you. You know? But you gotta treat life like a clock. Stop looking at the time and just keep going. You know? So it's a tough spot. It's a dark spot, but it's, you know, I gotta fucking rebuild and try to salvage what I got left as a man, as a human, as a husband, as a dad, as Anthony. You know, I'm not talking to you as Big Ant no more. This is Anthony, man. And I gotta recalculate. I gotta rebuild. I gotta restructure. I gotta rewire. I gotta rewind. I gotta retreat. I gotta do everything, man. I gotta do it all over, bro. And I just want to thank everybody that's ever helped me with anything up until this point. For those of you who don't have my new number, I will eventually give it to you. I'm just in a place right now where I need to be zoned the fuck out and just talking to God. Because at this point, I think that's the only person that understands, what's going on, really. And I got a lot of things to fix, man. I got to fix myself before I'm able to just be around people that I love and care about, because you might hear something or see something that you don't like, and I don't want to put you guys in any position to not fuck with me no more, not like me no more like that, And this is just me coming to terms that I need help. I need a lot of help, not just from anybody, but just whoever's affiliated with me. I guess you could say everybody, but I need to do a lot, and I'm okay with that. We take one day at a time, and you just try to make today better and bigger than yesterday. And I'm not dead. I'm not dead yet. So thank you again to everybody. LA Cruz, my family, fucking Kush Gang, my boy Zay, everybody that's been a part of this ride, that's still here, and whoever is gonna fucking listen to this shit. I think this is probably the most I've ever cussed on a podcast. But yeah, man, I got work to do. I got a lot of work to do. But I just wanted to let everybody know I'm okay. I'm not saying that just to say that. I'm okay. I'm just going through a lot right now, going through the waves. But I do see myself in a better spot, at least starting by the end of the year. My birthday's in 2 months. I turned a big 38. And I guess 38 is better than 68 to try to start your life over. And I'm gonna do better this time. I'm gonna do a lot better. So if you made it this far on the podcast, remember, love yourself, keep yourself healthy, and keep your guard up, man. Understand what you're getting yourself into nowadays, because people ain't what they seem, bro. Sometimes, it's a facade, dog. It's crazy. You know what I mean? So I'm not gonna drag this out anymore. Mona, my sister's dog, is sleeping on the fucking mixer as we speak. She's tired too. But big shout out to everybody. I love you guys. I try to keep in touch. Try to make another episode soon. If anything, if I get any type of progress done in my journey back to my fucking regular life, my regular life, I will let you know. So again, thank you guys. I love you guys. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.